go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the previous meeting? Any additions or corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve? Moved by Justin, second by Cale, all in favor? Okay. Sheriff's report.
I don't have a report. Janelle's in the hospital. She does them for me, so I don't really have a report other than I could tell you guys, I can't break it down by city, county, whatever. Once again, like I said, our goal for the whole time period is to increase traffic enforcement. I can tell you our traffic stop was up not quite 30%, but close to 30% in the last 2 months.
In town?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't break it down. I don't have the breakdown in front of me, but overall total, which means that it's going to be up in town too, for the total to be up. But our total number of traffic stops have gone up, not quite 30%, but close to 30%. So overall, been doing a lot more of that. We have not had a lot of reportable crime in the last 30 days as far as property crime, person crimes, things like that. Almost everybody we have in jail is probation violations, kind of like I said last month. So luckily, statistically, crime is back down. You remember a couple months ago when I was talking and everything was through the roof, everything's kind of back down to what it normally is. So that's about the size, but the exact numbers without Janelle, I don't even have a password to get to that information. And Janelle's been through a lot this last month. So, but I will when I get those, I will send them over to Jen, and then she can send them out to you guys so you can see the exact numbers and stuff. So, other than that, we hosted a training with the Highway Patrol. It was very well attended and it went very well. That's one of the big things we did last month. So that's about the size of it. So,
What kind of training?
what's that?
What kind of training?
It was stop stick training.
Oh, cool.
We have inert stop sticks.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the actual spikes, and we practiced. It sounds easy to do the stop sticks in theory, but it is the thing that per rate of use is the most dangerous thing law enforcement can do. And a lot of it is, and I have to admit, when you start off in your beginning, they show you this video and say, watch this video, it teaches you how to do it. And you sit there and watch the video, and then they sit in the back of your vehicle for 12 years and you never do it.
Yeah.
And then you do it in a moment of excitement after not practicing, not doing it. Every time we've thrown stop sticks, somebody's gotten hurt. Whether it's as simple as a rope burn on their hand, their ankles, sometimes it gets wrapped around their ankles. When a vehicle hits them, they flow everywhere. So we're doing that this is our 5th year in a row now that we do this. This year we had close to probably 30 officers from other agencies there. We do it over at the Thresher Show. The Thresher Association lets us use that, and we can get up to 60 or 70 miles an hour. Because when you first do it at 20 miles an hour, you're like, oh, this is easy. I don't know what it would. And then once that car goes by 70, you're like, you're trying to hit a 70 mile an hour car, and you think about it, most of the time they're going 100. We just can't get up to 100 miles an hour out there at the Thresher Show without, I don't think they'd like the outcome if we did that. But we did that. And during that, we got to play with the shields that the KHP have. They're bulletproof shields. When they approach, like after you stop stick them, they pull over, you do what we call felony stop. And I've secured us some funding to get a shield for every officer, not only for that type of scenario, but school shootings and stuff like that they could take in. There's been a lot of technology. 10 years ago, if you would have grabbed one of the shields, you wouldn't be able to hold it for more than 10 minutes at a time. And now they weigh nothing and take them in. So we are going to get shields. We did complete our radio project. The federal government said any personal information that we're giving has to be on an encrypted channel. They gave us years and years warning, so we got compliant. our radio channel. If any of you guys have scanners and you think, well, the sheriff's office went quiet, that's because we're encrypted now. So, you can't hear us. And that's federal standard, that's not anything that I wanted to do, that the county wanted to do. The federal standard says we have to be encrypted, because in a standard interaction with a law enforcement officer, it doesn't matter if you're in trouble or whether you're just a victim of a motor vehicle accident, the radio information going back and forth is enough information to steal somebody's identity. You got DLs, dates of birth, you know, all that stuff. So all that has to be protected now, and it's encrypted, so you won't hear us anymore. It's all encrypted. We have to switch over to fire EMS, if we wanna get out and anybody hears besides our dispatch. There's parts of it I don't like because I can't talk directly to Dan. I've got to switch over to the fire channel, because he's not gonna hear me scanning. Usually he'd hear me scanning. So now it's added some complications, but I also understand where the federal government's coming from. Like I said, any interaction I have, I'm on the radio, you're in a motor vehicle accident, I'm running your driver's license, all that stuff. And if somebody's listening with pen and paper, they just got everything they need, you know, to steal your identity. So I understand where it's coming from. And that part's done. So if anybody questions you, hey, not hearing the sheriff's office, are they even working anymore? Yes, we're just encrypted. You can't hear what we're saying anymore, which, yeah. Like I said, I think there's some issues. We sat down as a group with the fire chief, EMS director, and talked about how we're gonna do this safely, because we need to be able to talk to each other. We came up with a plan. Obviously, it's all good plans. It's probably the plan A probably is not gonna work, so we'll have to move to a plan B or something, but so far, but we haven't had anything where we really need to talk to each other a lot on yet. But, so I guess that's a big update in case somebody's wondering where we went and why they don't hear us anymore. You're not gonna hear us anymore, so.
Anything else for Cody? Since you're not leaving, do you mind if we get some of these guys done?
Yeah,
before
go
we
ahead.
do this? Okay, do I hear a motion to accept and file the sheriff's report?
So moved.
Moved by Larry, second by Cale, all in favor? All right. New business, library board appointments. Are you guys just here to listen in, or did you have input?
Listen in and just
You gonna introduce Jeff?
introduce Jeff as our new board member who has taken Mary Morrow's position. And then Nancy Walraven, who is our board president, is starting her second term. But we're staying for a little bit.
Okay, so I need to request a motion to approve the following mayor appointments to the library board: Nancy Walraven, Karen Neitzel, Marilyn Nisdell, Stella Draper, Amelia Zugi, Sandy Bandel, and Jeff Olafson. Moved by Cale, second by Dara, all in favor? Alrighty. TAP.
Basically, what we're telling you is what you probably already saw in the paper, so we're a little behind the time. But as you know, Triangle Park is a city park. It is, we're here trying to improve the old pool area. It's just kind of a loose-knit group that is doing this, trying to come together, and so far, it's worked out pretty well. We're getting close to phase 2, which is the recreational part, the volleyball, the sand volleyball, the pickleball, cornhole, and horseshoe. So we have pictures. Laminate, we have 2 copies here. So this is what is done. This is the handicap ramp that will go in front of the pool area. And this is the next phase, the walking trail. So, and also the update to the pool house, hopefully. So right now, we're concentrating on phase 2, which is this, and this. Sorry, I don't know where my other, right here. They're hoping to start on the sidewalk, which will surround the volleyball.
Yeah,
And next,
hopefully this week, next
the cement around the volleyball court, and then they can bring the sand in, put it in there, then the fence will have to go up around that. So, quite a bit of work yet to do. The pickleball court is coming right along. I put the first coat of primer paint on it today. So,
Thanks to Scott.
five more coats of paint before it's done. And the striping's gonna be the worst part, putting the white lines in there, getting in where they need to be.
So like we mentioned in our article, phase 2, we are hoping is paid for, or we have the funds in place. So the next one will be starting over again with the walking trail and what goes in, which will be a large amount of cement. So that will be a costly phase. Phase 1, the demolition of the area was all in-kind work, volunteer work. So that went, so far we have come in under what we projected as the cost at around 75,000. And we had thought to begin with, would we say 200 and?
Yeah, something like that. And originally, we planned on the walking route going clear down here and around. We've decided to just come around, square it up, just make the walking route like that now,
Does anybody want to come?
instead of going clear down to this corner.
The update. It was what was in the paper, basically.
So you're gonna be able to walk around the pickleball court?
Yeah, there's a 8-foot sidewalk all the way around the pickleball court right now. So they can walk around that, so we'll just come here, and then we're gonna shoot right on across here. This will be where the corn pole throwing contest will be. And so we just decided we'd just squirt and come around like that. Instead of going, they were gonna come clear down here and come back up. We decided, and then we haven't decided yet, this green area is probably buffalo grass, but then we might also, there's no curb and gutter here, we might also make this parking lot too. And buffalo grass here and bluegrass back in to those areas.
The original plans have changed a few times, as anybody who saw the original plans. Parking, the walking trail, to begin with, we had this great idea of going around that whole area. Well, that, for one, isn't feasible, the amount of cement that would take. Plus, not all of that has curb and gutter, so, yeah, it was a lot more. So instead, it's incorporating the pickleball and volleyball sidewalk, which is 8 foot wide.
This sidewalk along Angle Grove too is gonna be back quite a ways, cause there's so much buildup there. So I think once that sidewalk gets put around there, then a guy might wanna just go in there and take out that dirt and just fill that in with something so you don't have to mow down there. Cause you can't mow there anyway, without falling off. So, there's quite a few different things that will probably change up as we're going on that plan.
There was also a safety issue right up against the road.
Yeah, we thought get it away from the Angle Road,
Yeah.
so.
Opening date?
Well, we're hoping to have everything phase 2 by Alumni Weekend.
Pickleball courts and horseshoe will be there. I don't know about the rest of it.
We're hoping.
Because I might host a volleyball tournament down there is why she's directing this at me.
I thought you
We're
were paying
hoping.
for it or something.
That's,
What?
that's,
I thought you were paying for it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
well,
Yeah, that'd be
all
awesome.
right, all right.
Some of the questions I have, and Carla probably has some too, on this approach, we decided to do it handicap approach out front of where the old pool house is. We'd like to widen this sidewalk, so that means taking the sidewalk out. A couple things there's valve shut-offs or whatever in the cement on both sides. You probably need those, don't you? Check that out, because we'll either just pour cement around it and you can still use them, but if we don't need them, it'd be nice to just not have them there.
Okay.
So we'll need to check that out.
Okay.
That's also where the bricks will go, right?
Yeah, and that's where the bricks will go. As we're selling bricks, they're gonna be lined up on both sides here. People that are buying bricks will be right here where come in. So on that note, I figured that probably the city'd wanna be kinda responsible for getting some kind of signs wherever you get signs for not responsible for accidents, that kind of stuff, so we can get them up and fastened to the fences. And then handicap sign, and probably somehow to make a handicap sign or something out here in the street so they can park here and be able to go in around. And we'd need a handicap sign up on the pool house pointing south, because we do not want them to go around the north side because there's like a 3-inch drop down off of a ledge. We'll probably paint that a bright color so people know it's there. But this way we can send the handicap people around the other way where it'll all be level. See,
If you've been down there, the lights are installed, of which it's going to be plenty bright according to the people who know. Yeah, understand that. There's 4 lights on pickleball, 4 lights on the volleyball. But it should be enough for the cornhole and horseshoe as well.
we've got spots where we never ordered the lights for the cornhole or the horseshoe, but we're not sure we're gonna need them. But we've got the conduit out there in case we do. Bathrooms, once we start on that, those are 3-foot doors going in there, so we should be all right with handicap, as long as we'll probably have to put latches so we can latch them open so they stay open, so they wouldn't go closed. And, we're not sure yet, because that's down the road a ways on what we'll be doing there. And was you gonna put that one hydrant back in over there by the scout hut somewheres that we took out? The one was along there?
Hadn't thought about it, I guess. I'm
'Cause
not
I-
sure that was working anyway, was it?
What's that?
I'm not sure the hydrant was working anyway.
I don't know if that one was working anymore or not.
If we need to look into putting some down there, we can.
I think it'd be nice to have somewheres where we could hook up to water easy enough, and then also maybe put one of those, drinking fountains off of it. Just, something that'd be handy, that they could get a drink. So you might check into that too for us. I don't know what else would be right now.
Do you have questions for us? We have questions, so.
Is your walkway all concrete,
Mhm.
the walking path?
Have any of you seen the sidewalk around the pickleball on the outside of the fence? Yeah, it's wide. It's 2 people or a stroller.
Yeah, it's
or-
8 foot wide
Yeah,
from the fence out. So this will all be eventually all cement.
Okay.
Appreciate all you guys have done, all the hard work you've put in. It's coming along nicely.
it is coming along. It feels like we go a while and then we,
Oh, he was gone.
yeah. Scott went to Arizona on us, on the girls. So
I
it's,
was playing pickleball
yeah,
in
yeah.
Arizona for 3
He was
months.
practicing, yeah. So we have high hopes that phase 2 will be available this summer, and we're gonna see a lot of fun down there. Again, we understand this is the city's, so if you have any questions along the way, Dara's with us. Let us know if we have questions. We just thought it was time, maybe you guys needed to hear an update.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that,
That's
yeah.
good.
And it'd probably be nice to get those signs, not responsible for accidents or whatever. And we probably need, I don't know, probably one on each side of the fence on the volleyball end, so that'd be 8 signs
Signs.
that we could strap right to the chain link fence that not responsible for accidents.
Okay.
Did we have any questions about how the lighting was gonna work, or is that further down the line?
Is that on timer?
I don't know.
We're gonna have timers on it and, yeah, he's gonna get timers on it, so.
Is there gonna be a curfew for using it? or
We
somebody
haven't
wants to be
talked
down
that
there
yet. I
and
think
people
that
not fall
down the
down?
road, we might have to do something, I don't know.
Okay.
You know, if somebody goes down there 2 o'clock in the morning, turns on lights, that might not be a good thing, but.
Neighbors might not like that.
Yeah.
But we haven't really,
No, we haven't talked about it.
That's a good.
I
idea.
don't know why anybody should be down there after 11 o'clock anyway at night, on a summer night.
Yeah.
They have that pickleball court in Rawlins County right next to the courthouse. And I've taken prisoners over at midnight, and there has been some very high-spirited games still going on some night. I mean, innocent, nobody's causing a
Competitive.
problem or something, it's just, that's why I was just curious if there was gonna be a curfew
Yeah,
or not, so.
we haven't talked about that yet.
we hope it's used a lot.
Yeah.
The community and a lot of people in our, yeah. So, all right,
Appreciate it, guys.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you,
Yep.
guys.
we're gonna
Yeah, we're gonna.
take our laminated copies back.
Oh, yeah.
Reuse them again.
Be a little
Thank you.
everything. Good job.
And no, I don't miss it.
I had to put a shot in, Scott.
You guys are doing a good job.
Farmers Market, Jason, you're up.
I put in a request to have the farmer's market this year again in the city park. Same deal as every year, I guess, pretty much, but, I did ask that, I wanted to make sure that we had a bathroom that was unlocked during that time period. And it would be really nice to have power in the canopy area, because Elmer brings his soup, so he needs to plug that in.
Have you
So-
been having trouble with the power?
No, not generally. I just wanted to make sure
Okay.
if, in case it had to be scheduled or something, turning it on.
It's on all the time.
Is it? Okay, perfect. Yeah. And then just even with the bathrooms, just the middle bathroom, I think is what we normally do.
It's normally unlocked in the summer anyway, right?
Handicap one, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had a problem with that either, so.
Cool. I'll move to approve.
Moved by Larry, second by Cal, all in favor? All right.
Thank
There
you.
go. Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks, Jason.
Shay, you're up.
Okay, well, I'm actually like a posse of people.
Okay. That's just your name, so.
I'm not really sure
Shay and
how
Posse.
My
Shay
name
Posse.
got
We're
there.
sending her up, no, we're not staying.
I don't know. Really
Have I
long,
heard some of this before?
have I what?
Have I heard some of this before?
Probably. I seem to be the cheerleader that cheers everybody on. Really long story short, at that strategic planning thing that was at 202 a while back, it got brought up to update the city park. Give it a little facelift is what I'm calling it. Update some things, maybe take out a thing. But basically, a couple of us talked. There's actually like 10 people that would like to see it happen, that are willing to like piggyback off of this, I guess. We wouldn't be asking for any funding. We think that there's a lot of communities or counties around us have gotten grant funding. The thrift store is, I'm gonna let Robin tell you about the thrift store. because-
Sure. As you all know, the thrift store is coming up on $1 million party here since 2005. That's what we've given away. So
That's
we're very
awesome.
excited, and so we wanted to do something back for the community. So we were brainstorming last fall already that we would like to do a little portion of the park and make it a musical park. If you've ever seen any outdoor musical instruments, they're pretty cool. And I should have brought pictures and I didn't, but, and then also with, the Conference Blessing, we're gonna dedicate it to Jean Ann in her memory, so. And we're hoping to raise funds there, but also, again, we're pretty well assured at that strategic meeting that there's a lot of grant money out there for this kind of thing, cause we know it can get costly, but we're not asking for any money. We just are asking for permission to start figuring out what our footprint will be and our plan will be and come back in time with specific plans. At this, right now, we don't have that. We're just at this baby stage. We're not where they're at. We're just at the very beginning. You remember that, oh, yes. So anyway, but there's a lot of people that are very excited about this, so.
Sounds good to me.
The only thing I wanna add is, like, we were talking about how there's not a lot of trees in the park and shade. I mean, we're talking about canopies and stuff like that, but we also thought about maybe donating, like, not donating. Well, people donate trees or, put them in memorial, like Travis Jensen, I think, did in the park, maybe for his dad. Maybe do something like that along with this, 'cause I mean, this is way down the road. And of course, we would talk to, you know, this city and people that have to mow it, have to deal with it. So, that was just another idea of,
And we're kind of anticipating the footprint that is there now will become a little bit bigger, but not a lot. We're not gonna go way overboard, we're gonna keep it. And, well, and one more thing too is what we talked about. We want this to be something that everybody can use, from our little bitty kids to our handicapped children, to our handicapped adults, to where assisted living can come down and our nursing home people can come down. We wanna provide maybe some gliders or swings where they can sit there and enjoy. So we want it to be all inclusive, and we want the community all involved in it, so. We're excited. There's some
With
neat
your
things.
guys' blessing
Yeah,
and
with
permission,
your blessing.
obviously, so.
Yeah, and I don't know from here, do we also need to talk to county commissioners,
That's what I
or
was
are we,
gonna ask,
do we
I
need?
believe so.
City Park.
but it's county property. It's because we lease it.
I mean, we'd be glad to go there
Where
too,
Ben
but
Shell is?
didn't know.
Mhm.
No.
No,
it's not-
No.
Where the
other
courthouse
But
is.
we maintain it.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the.
I don't know that we've
I don't
ever
think
gotten
there'd be an
permission.
issue. We can check on that and see.
If you check on that, that would be great, and if you think we need, if they would like us to come, we'd be glad to go.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I know one of the things you guys have talked about is new playground equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
And a shade, cause, yeah.
There's no shade right in this.
There's not this time of year when the trees haven't, yeah, there's no shade right now, so like, me with a baby, I'm like, oh man, you know, it's a active baby, I should say, so.
And we're looking at this probably a 2-year project, is what we're hoping. In 2 years from now, it could be complete. We wanna take our time and do it right, just like these guys have done, do it right the first time, and maybe by the time we're ready for some things, Scott can come our way.
There you go.
I'm about played out.
But I guess we're just looking for your blessing and permission to pursue this, and then we'll come back with more finalized plans at some point in time.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
Good ideas.
We should hit our $1 million mark here in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Cool.
202, I don't think nobody's here, are they? Building permits?
okay, you guys.
See you, Scott.
The kids wanted to tear out a wall, it's falling down in his backyard, and then they'll put a fence up.
said that he was leaning towards the museum.
Oh,
So I don't know that there's,
Oh, okay.
But-
Change of plans.
that's what he told me about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and so that's what I'm gathering is that they're going that direction.
Okay.
You wanna put it somewhere else?
Up the museum.
Oh, that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So, that's what he told me, so that's okay, hear differently.
Okay.
Before we move on to old business, I'm gonna bring up, the issue I thought we had maybe briefly talked about it. With the mill levy for the library, and I apologize, Jen, I don't have those figures, I don't know if you have. So essentially, the ordinance that was passed back in, was it 2018? Thank you. It increased the mills, that are provided for the library up from 4 to 4.5, correct?
Yes.
For whatever reason, this year, for 2025, correct, okay, when we budgeted, that 4.5 mils didn't get set correctly. So essentially, what we allotted for the library was 4 mils. The ordinance states that the city will, provide up to 4.5. It doesn't say we have to provide 4.5, but it says up to 4.5. Somehow, and I talked with Danielle, the auditor, and that was kind of a mistake she kind of took blame for part of it. But they had, I guess, Terry and I had visited about,
And it's been 4.5 since 2018,
yeah,
so it was an oversight.
yeah, we've always done the 4.5, even though the ordinance says up to 4.5, we've always, given
what do
them
we
the
have to
4.5.
do?
Just offset the difference.
We can't, so obviously that's an ad valorem tax, and so we can't go back and ask for it. We can, Danielle said we could just pay the difference, which I think it was $6,700. It would just be an appropriation out of the general. That wouldn't actually be budgeted for the library, we just have to pay it out of the general.
Okay.
And that's something, if you guys want to do that, or
Do we need a motion?
So,
moved by Kale, second by Dara, all in favor?
Did you,
Thank you.
were you doing a specific amount, the 60?
Whatever the,
%,
whatever the
whatever that
half
is,
mil,
Okay,
yeah. I can get that figure, but it was roughly
okay.
around 67 something, yeah, so, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and the difference of whatever, so I think it was not quite a half, wasn't it, like, was it 4.02 something that we actually do, so it was
Right.
close to half a mil, whatever that difference is, that we'll go ahead and pay that out of the general.
We appreciate that. Library needs it.
Yes, you're welcome,
Thank you.
so,
Now we'll get out of your hair.
okay, yes. Property cleanup,
Thank you, guys.
yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
guys.
Thank you.
yeah. We have those two pictures for property cleanup. I've had complaints about it, but
On that one, yeah, make sure your picture had this tiny house in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. And that's what I don't know what would you do with the tiny house thing, cause it's built onto a trailer.
Lauren may disagree, so I'm just giving my opinion. You treat it like a camper, I mean, it's
Yeah.
built on a trailer with wheels, it's a home on wheels. You treat it as a mobile home. You know what we're talking about?
I do not, so I'm gonna wait
And
to
I,
see the
I,
picture.
I think if the
Wait.
rest of the stuff around it was cleaned up, it maybe wouldn't be, you know, it's
Yeah,
just.
and I don't know what their intent, not that I've
I've
noticed.
never noticed
Oh.
that
So,
either.
and I don't believe it's hooked up to any, I've never seen electric cords run into it or anything like that either, so. I'm not gonna go into the water.
That's,
616 South Bend.
the biggest problem I think with it is a little bit of clutter in the yard, but the stove on the front porch and the couch are two of the biggest complaints on it.
Yeah, there's just clutter again.
And I don't remember, like I said, I think the ordinance says you can store your camper behind your house, which means I would need to move mine, so if we're gonna hold
Except
up to
for-
that, then
Isn't it April through October?
you can
mean, it's better than the house.
It's not tagged or anything, is it? I guess, I mean, that would be the,
But it's not on the street.
It's not on the street.
but we did have that when Scott was still mayor of vehicles in yards and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You'd have to go look and see if that needs to be tagged though, cause
And that's what I'm
trailer's
saying, how do
only
you-
2,000 pounds.
Yeah, so I'd say you have to take it and weigh it, but still, what do you classify it as? Is it a trailer or is it a?
Tiny house, that's why they don't, that's why they do it.
Yeah,
Kids playhouse.
Kids
I mean,
play
if
house.
it's strapped
It
on,
is.
yeah.
I mean, it goes back to almost, it's the same thing as like personal property. How would you classify that on personal property? I don't know the answer, that's what I'm.
Well,
looking at.
I mean, as far as motor vehicle, personal property, I mean, to be considered an RV, it has to have specific things and
Does
I,
it have a tongue on it, and does it have taillights on it, then you're gonna be working on a mobile home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's
If
like,
it doesn't have
But then-
taillights on it or no tongue on it,
But-
then it's
Yeah.
not.
but I
it's a
mean,
house.
in order to be classified an RV, it would have to have a bathroom. I mean, there's certain
Okay, see, I don't
specifications, yes,
know.
there is.
I
And
don't know
so
about that, so.
that would not be considered,
And like Dan said, there's also the state statute of, we hook up to it, take it down to the co-op and weigh it. Cause how much does it weigh makes a difference of whether by Kansas law it needs to be plated, entitled, or not, so.
I think it weighs over 2,000 pounds, so it's gonna be tagged.
If they built it properly, it's gonna weigh over 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
If they got 22-inch studs or something, I mean, I can see them, whatever, but.
But there's nobody living there?
I have not
And-
seen anybody coming and going out of it,
out of
or,
the trailer,
yeah,
the house, yes.
yes, the house, yes, but the trailer, there's no steps
There's-
sitting there, there's no electric cords going to it for to have power, it's just sitting there. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess we could just go knock on the door and ask them what the heck the deal is with it. Nobody's ever done that yet, but
What is the problem with it right now?
I don't think there'd really be a problem with it if the rest of the
I
property
was
was
gonna say,
tidy.
the rest of the stuff with the, I mean, I would think that would be, you get the,
It just adds to the overall ambience of the property right
Yeah.
now, so.
what's everybody's thoughts?
Just go talk to them and then clean up the rest of it.
Yeah, clean up the rest of
I
it.
don't know that we need to talk to them, just send a property cleanup letter like we do with, I mean, we've been putting in the specifics in there on what we needed done, and I think just overall,
And if you looked in the back,
I'm not allowed to look over fences.
well, I had to jump over the fence.
I'm not allowed to look over fences.
Isn't your meter over there?
I know what it used to look like.
Well, I will say this, I had to go in the backyard a couple months ago, and it's not great, but it's dramatically better than what it was with the previous occupants. I'll say that.
Where is that?
616 South Denison.
Oh, that's,
Yeah. The gift that keeps on.
it is a gift.
So usually when we do those property cleanup letters, I guess since Dan took the pictures, he would come in and tell us what needs to be
Yeah,
cleaned up,
I was,
is that
if you
which?
pass them back, this, I thought they were coming back around, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
See that.
I will say this, I think you get more compliance out of these occupants than the past occupants, if we send a letter.
Yeah,
Now it looks better.
yeah, I would say overall,
Yeah, just some
debris,
general cleanup.
yeah, general. Household items and debris and front yard and driveway. You've got the couch, oh, there's a couch sitting there. Is everybody okay
Yeah,
with
I
that?
agree with Dan and Cody on that. See if we get the yard cleaned up.
Mhm. appliances.
This picture doesn't do it justice, but if you walk up there, there's that path, there's just, I have no way of describing it, just random crap.
Debris.
Debris. laying there.
Drop something, didn't pick it up.
Yeah,
We're gonna use the word debris.
Yes.
Debris.
You're gonna use the word debris.
Oh, I like how this is passing just.
I'm gonna use the word debris. Goes in front of the judge.
Is that all on property cleanup? Yeah. Okay. Projects pending. Anything on the? The city hall planters flagpole and benches.
Was the bench that was on there just the bench
I
that needed to
think
be
so.
fixed?
Yeah,
I
I think we can
almost-
take the bench off, but as far as the flagpoles and that was cleaning up the little flower bed bush areas, huh?
Yeah, everything was supposed to be torn out on both sides so we could start fresh, and then now we have new sidewalks, I'm not sure how that's,
I don't know how that's gonna work either.
that's up to him. I think whatever we do, we need to make it pretty, I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on that, if we do get it cleaned up, we probably don't want something that's a lot of labor intensive, that like requires being watered every day, cause I think that that'll be a lot and it may not get done.
Could those two shrubs that are out there, could they just be trimmed up and cleaned up?
They look rough.
a lot, I think,
Yeah.
or chopped.
Talk
Yeah.
time or something different.
I think it would look better if
And they don't look.
everything was just out, even if we just laid down some nice colored mulch and maybe a couple planters with some flowers, and like not a lot, but I
Or-
think it would look way better to take
Or
everything
rock or
out.
something?
Or nice rock, or,
But if you're not gonna take care of it, then they're just kind of weeds in the rock.
Yeah.
but if we had rock, at
Spray
least
it.
the guys could go in there and spray it,
Yeah.
you know, and
Do rocks.
so.
I just think it needs something, to beautify
Mhm.
our town. Rather than just concrete.
Yes, ideas?
So if you find some ideas, yeah. Keep on going, on Whole Street,
Mhm.
go for it.
Yep.
Alright. No budget.
Anything else on project spending?
No, the pool, who takes care of the outside the pool? We do? City does. I just think, it's getting, that landscaping is needing some work too, and there's a lot of weeds all over the building. I just, needs mowed, so.
Didn't they just mow it?
I don't know.
Thought the mower was up there.
A lot of dandelions out there, and I know there's a lot of stickers.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
there's a
stickers
lot
on
of
this
stickers.
empty lot over here along the curb. Streets?
I don't think I have anything on the street.
Okay. Visitor, Sherry, are you just listening?
reporter.
You're the reporter.
Sure, sure, paper.
All right.
The paper.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
I am office manager and staff writer.
very good. Well, welcome.
Appreciate you coming.
Yes. Theater report. You have anything, Vera?
There's minutes from the April meeting, we just had another meeting tonight, Robert moved it to tonight, that, and basically tonight what they discussed was that, it's in the minutes here about, that showing of the movie Plight. It was the one that was filmed here in St. Francis. And so they are looking maybe towards the weekend of July 4th, it would maybe be tentatively on that Thursday. It's not in concrete, but that's kind of what they were thinking. Maybe that Thursday, you know, the guy kind of wanted to make it more of a grand opening,
then July 4th is Friday, so they probably won't be doing a show that night. Cause they said it was Jurassic Park that weekend, but they thought it would be held over for the second weekend, but they'll get with you, Robert, I think, kinda when they hear more from this guy on how.
Is he just showing it the one night on Thursday? Is that what you're?
That's what they kinda voted tonight, so.
I mean, we'll just need, information so we know where to mail the check, and, I mean, the guy will need to understand that he's not gonna get his money that night.
That's what they discussed tonight and all that, and so they will
Okay,
try to get that,
okay,
passed on to him, so he understands that. That,
Okay.
the city has to go through steps to.
and then
Do that.
attached to the minutes, is a letter of support,
Oh, yeah.
and we got a donation from the Conservation District.
That's cool, yeah. And they're still, looking at talking to some contractors to kinda get, and then Robert will come to council when he gets more. They've gotten some in, but they're just trying to reach out and make sure it's. Wind's blowing.
Yes.
So. And they got, Robert Martinez as a new board member. So.
Anything else for theater? None, is there a motion to accept and file the theater report? Moved by Gail, second by Larry, all in favor? Pool report.
The only thing I've really got is the opening date will be Tuesday the 27th. It's the day after Memorial Day. Hoping to get lifeguard training done the week prior to that. I haven't heard definite on what Barb's timing's gonna be on her schedule. So, other than that, I don't have anything else. Unless somebody has questions.
Questions? How's the pool coming?
Haven't really started.
Haven't really started.
Well, it's gonna be next week, or start middle of this week probably, and then hopefully we're gonna have it ready to go by the 14th, but that's our plan, we're shooting for, so.
I hear a motion to accept and file the pool report. Moved by Justin, second by Kale, all in favor? Superintendent?
Justin, I'll take a look at the pool, the landscaping stuff too, while I'm thinking about it.
Superintendent report.
Okay, so some of you probably know, some of you don't, we had a water leak on Francis Street again.
Is it in the concrete?
Huh?
In the concrete?
Yep. Same place as the last one, about 10 foot back to the south.
Mm.
Wow.
So yeah, there was some OT put in this weekend.
Was that Francis and Spencer, right?
No, it's
First Street.
That new concrete?
Really?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
place.
it's the stuff we just replaced, with the
Oh, yeah.
concrete, we
Yeah.
punched the same stuff right back out.
That's great.
So the trash truck is still in Ray, but the price, the estimate he gave us was $5,123.73, and the grand total come out to be $5,955.92. So, I don't know if we gotta make up the difference in a motion, or,
Probably.
Yeah, I hear a motion to.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Kale, second by Larry. All in favor?
so on the next part, still has to deal with the trash truck. It's, the air conditioner needs to be fixed on it. They gave me an estimate on that, which was $3,037.42,
Where do you have to take that?
right where it said.
Okay.
They would do it before we go get it.
Kale, all in favor?
Dan, I'll say it, and I'm sure everybody else is on the same page too. Thank you guys for working on the water leak. I know it's a tough situation.
Okay, the next item I have is our crimper for our electric stuff is getting old. The batteries are starting to go bad. The batteries are $400 or $500, which sounds a lot better than the crimper, but the crimper is slowing down, getting old.
Oh,
The new crimper will run on Milwaukee batteries.
Oh, nice.
So, but the new crimper's $2,436.38.
Is that Milwaukee too?
Well, it's gonna come with 2 batteries in it for Milwaukee.
Wow.
How big are those batteries?
Huh?
How big are the batteries?
They're the 2.0, 18 volt.
How was that? How was the one you got now?
What we got now, probably 12 to 15 years old.
Oh, wow. So you got your money's worth. Yeah. I'll move to that.
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Justin, all in favor?
Okay, and I received I haven't called him back yet, I just got a voicemail from the principal at the school. And he's wanting something for the kids to do on the last day of school, they wanna do like a service project. He talked about cleaning up around the pool and stuff, but I gotta be careful what I do with kids, so.
They could paint the pool.
What do you want it to look like?
Artwork.
You know, the last time the pool was painted.
Hey.
Yes.
Exactly.
I didn't know if you
It
guys
works.
had any ideas for that, or if I should just tell him that we really can't do that. Well, last year I told them we couldn't do it, and they cleaned up the roadside park, which wasn't a big deal, they walked around and picked up trash.
I was gonna say roadside or Keller's Pond or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do all, they could walk down all the parks and clean them up.
yeah. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keller Pond's probably not a bad idea either.
Yeah.
Laying around, but.
There's a lot more, once you start looking, there's a lot
Yeah.
more trash that blows around than you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially after this weekend, there's probably trash blowing everywhere.
And we got our results back on our transformer that leaked, and it was less than 2 parts per million, so it's not a hot transformer, but I'm still gonna send the dirt to Sullivan and have them take the transformer. So we won't have to worry about it. I do have a quote from that Craftco stuff I told you guys about the bagged patch and the concrete patching bag. If I split a pallet up, it'd be 30 bags of cold patch, the black, and 25 bags of concrete patch. It'll be $1,185. If you guys are good, I'll go ahead and order it.
When are we gonna get some patch?
We have a patch.
Okay.
Just gotta get warm enough to use them, then we gotta have time to get there to do it.
I'm sure you've heard it too. We've had a lot of people asking when we're gonna start patching.
Yeah. And other than that, I would like 10 minutes executive session for non-work personnel, employee performance, if we can do it at the end of the meeting.
Do we do it, did the guy came do that core stuff yet?
I haven't seen them yet.
When were they supposed to come?
I don't remember.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept and file the
Do we know
superintendent?
when, meeting for that engineer?
I talked to him and he's gonna show up at a meeting. I told him I was getting pinned down by you guys, and he said he would show up for a meeting sooner or later, so. I thought it was gonna be this one, he ain't here, so
Okay.
I'll call him tomorrow and see when he's thinking of coming.
Move.
Moved by Justin, second by Kale, all in favor? Attorney report.
see anything in this that really needs changed? In your opinion?
I don't see it. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to update it because it hasn't been. I think you wanted to increase it because it hasn't been done since, God, I think 2008-ish. Sorry, just adjusting for inflation. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to do that. I will say, and I think Cody's with me on this, that for Article 5 and Article 6, the accidents and serious traffic offenses, I think those need to stay in district court.
Also, 8262, which is your driver's license suspensions, because those get, or driving while suspended, those can get really tangled up in court and take a lot of time and
Right,
get
and
the
that
Department of
would
Revenue
be,
involved and everything, so.
right, that would be Article 19, which is on the front of the
Yeah.
last page.
And the other ones, driving without a driver's license, all that is fine, but, you get into driving while licensed, be your section 194 state statute 8-262, you can start getting involved with DMV, or Department of Revenue, I'm sorry, all kinds of stuff, and those cases get drawn out, I guess I'll just say, drawn out and stuff like that, and they kind of take on a life of their own. All the rest of them in that section, I think are fine, but the driving while suspended, I would recommend running that through the district court where they're used to dealing with that process.
I mean, I just think the whole article, I mean, the while canceled, suspended, or revoked in violation of a restriction, operation of a motor vehicle when a habitual violate, I mean, I think that the things in here that say summons need to stay over in district court. And I think the things that have fines are fine if we want to re-adopt this fine schedule, or if we want to, I guess, update it.
Looking at the inflation from 2008, it was like, it said it was 130%. If I type in $20 into this little CPI inflation calculator from January of '08 to March of 2025, $20 with inflation would be $30.30. So I don't know if we want to raise from 20 to 30 and 30 to 40.
Yeah, I was thinking at least
Or-
25, so.
Yeah, 30 and 45 maybe.
30 and 45? Yep, 30 and 45. Is everybody okay with that?
Say that again.
30 and 45 instead of 20 and 30? That basically,
Yeah.
straight through, everything's 20 and 30, so we'll do,
Yeah, I mean, that increases it by 50%. The only things that I was just getting back to that. The speeding, there are graduated fines for so much over. There's 1 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 15, and then 16 and over is a summons, which I think that's fine. I mean, that can come. At the point that they're going more than 16 over, that's gonna be up to the discretion of the sheriff's office, depending on conditions as to whether or not that's reckless driving.
And they're working on a state statute on that
Right.
as well.
I mean, until we have it, though. I don't know if we want to increase the speeding. I mean, I think that the speeding fines are,
Why don't we just do the same thing?
just up it by 150%,
Yeah.
or turn it to 150%.
Just have no zero. I mean,
I just wanted to keep it even, go, instead of
Does
15,
anyone-
20, and 40, go
10.
20, 25, and 50.
Does anybody ever get pulled over for 1 to 4
45.
mile per hour over?
No.
That seems ridiculous.
No. But it does, well,
5 to 9
Because-
makes sense.
that might be a ticket you write in a
School zone.
severe injury accident or the school zone, or, you know, you're gonna have something else going on if you're writing the ticket for that. You're not gonna
Yeah.
pull somebody over because speedometers are allowed to leave the factory 3 miles an hour off.
Yeah.
So the thing that cops give you 5 miles an hour isn't
Right.
because they're nice guys, it's because
Right.
the speedometer's
Fair.
allowed to be 3 miles an hour off when it leaves the factory, so the one time you're gonna be writing 1 or 4s if there's another infraction that's going on at the same time.
20, 30, and 50.
What do you guys think? 2030 or 2025?
Oh,
2030, 50?
yeah, you
20,
can do
30,
it.
50. Yeah.
2030, 50?
Yeah.
Okay, 2030, 50.
the other question I would have looking at this is, and I'm going back to dealing with it in district court or municipal court, is whether you guys wanna mess with any of these infractions if it's a CDL. Because they will fight it, every
The
time.
answer is no.
CDL will
There,
fight it
there,
every
there are no
time.
diversion agreements for
CDL.
CDL, which means that every single time they will fight it, and almost every single time they get an attorney out of Topeka or Wichita who's gonna try and be a bulldog and make it as difficult as possible, which, I mean, that's their job, zealous representation of their client, but, as far as that goes, it's gonna be a lot of my time involved that's probably not gonna get recouped.
Cause they don't care about the fine,
They
they'll
care
raise
about
the trucking company's insurance rates by a lot, and they'd rather spend that money on a lawyer than spend it on increased insurance rates. So anytime you give a ticket to somebody's CDL, you just plan they're gonna fight it.
And dogs at large, we should be okay, right? Didn't we just
Yeah.
do that not that long ago? Probably longer ago than I think.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why, I'm not entirely sure why this is on there. I don't know if it was just for the convenience of the officers. I do know the traffic court costs have gone up. I believe the STO now has them at 70 instead of 50. I will have to check on that in full candor. I haven't opened my STO in the last 3 years because I haven't had a traffic case in the last 3 years, so I had no reason to read it. Obviously, I'll look at that. The only one that was more than that was careless driving on the very back page, and it was at 60. And I don't know if you just want to have careless driving be going through district, or if you want to up that 60, or what you want to do there.
It's really 75.
If you're keeping with the same rate of going up, if it went from 20 to 30, it should go from 60 to 90.
60 to 90.
Because it's 150% of what it previously was.
Everybody okay with that?
What do you think on the careless driving?
At the point you're getting a ticket for careless driving, you deserve a $90 ticket. So, if that makes sense. I mean, that is, I mean, you're writing that ticket because, and we're not talking about reckless, we're talking about careless. That's your accident causers. That's the things that's gonna cause serious injury and wreck. Well, I got distracted driving, but say, you could use either one, but, yeah, you're at the point, when you're getting a ticket for careless, you have done something that the officer has observed or witness has observed and done statement for, that would cause an accident. So, with disregard, I mean, negligent, not accidentally, it's, yeah, I think $90 is appropriate for that. So, to me, the $100 question is we talked about this a little bit, at the end of last summer, we kinda tabled it until we got the new judge and stuff. I guess I want clear direction from you guys. If you guys want us to start writing, not the ones we discussed about, like the Article 6 or the 19 stuff. If you guys want us to start writing city tickets for these violations and put them through city court. Because we've been running them through district court even if they happen in the city. But I want that to be a clear directive from you guys. That's what
The
you guys
code
want.
requires the adoption of the fee schedule actually by the municipal judge, because that is who would be doing the sentencing. So if that is the case and you are wanting to direct them to do that, we need to direct them to do that on a date, so that way I can meet with Judge Gardner and confirm that he is.
Absolutely. That way we say, that way I can tell the deputies on this date, as of, and I'm just throwing a date out, June 1st, we start doing this. Once this is adopted by you, the judge, everybody.
And I just need to go through real fast and make sure that none of this is gonna run afoul of what the STO fines are, cause like I said, I haven't kept up on them because we haven't had traffic court in 3 years. So I just need to take a quick look through it. So I mean, if we wanna do it, just confirm, I'll confirm, take it to Judge Gardner. If he says it's okay, just wait until, and then I can come back at the next council meeting in May and say, this is what day is that?
Maybe 12.
Okay. I mean, unless there's a problem, I think that we could probably have it go into effect on May 13th, if that's agreeable. We just need to confirm that Judge Gardner is agreeable to adopting it, and before I present it to him, of course, I'm gonna make sure, check the STO and make sure that we're not out of line on anything, but I can't imagine that we are.
You said May 13th?
Yes.
That'd be the day after.
And that way, if there is any issue, we can discuss it at the council meeting, revise it, and then get it to Cody.
And we could also go through the summer, and you guys can see how this is working, and we can always bring it back up and say, wow, this is costing us a lot of money to run these through, or wow, we really like running these through, you know, I don't know which way it'll be, but, you know.
I
we
mean,
can
I think
always
the
revisit
fines,
the
cause
issue.
what we're seeing in Bird City is very few people are fighting it.
Mhm.
Because there is that actual fine on their ticket. Here's your court cost, here's your fine. Pay, you know,
Yeah, and how's the diversion, I guess I don't know the rate of diversion to whatever.
almost nothing. I mean, the last
No, but I
time,
mean, how many people are actually doing the diversion compared to just paying the ticket and going?
almost no one is doing a diversion. I've done, I think, 3 in the time that I've had 4 requests, I've done 3, the one that I didn't was a CDL, cause like, you can't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, as far as the diversions go, I think in the time that I've been Bird City City Attorney, I've been in court for 1 traffic case, and it settled at the first appearance. And, I mean, they have a significant amount of tickets for the amount of traffic that they have, I think, written.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you can speak to that better than I can.
Like I said, once you exclude CDLs,
Yeah.
or commercial, CDLs while driving a commercial vehicle, once you exclude those out, hardly anybody fights a ticket, I don't think.
Mhm.
But you get into that classification of a CDL driver driving a commercial vehicle, they'll fight it.
I have to run with it.
Alrighty,
The directive is, once we get everything approved,
May
Judge
13th.
Garner
I think you do
How about this? When Lauren or the mayor sends me an email, says, green light, go, we'll go.
I think that's good, and, cause I think it should be, now that I'm thinking May 13th, just in case we need to change something at the next meeting, I'd have to take it back to Judge Gardner, like, plan May 15th-ish.
Okay.
Could just plan first, like you said.
Yeah. And then can I get a copy of what, since we're changing these, could I get
Yeah,
another copy
yeah.
of it adjusted to what?
I will send it to you once I've gone through it and verified that everything's on the up and up, and I've taken it to Judge Gardner and gotten his
Okay.
adoption of it.
Sounds good?
Thanks, Cody.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys need me for anything else?
I don't think so.
You guys have a good evening.
Appreciate it.
Lauren, do you have anything?
I have nothing else for my report.
Do you have a-
Oh, I do have something else for my report. My case involving the dogs finally went through court on the 11th. Since I wasn't here on the 14th, I thought I'd just give you an update. I offered a plea agreement where, it was the full for the dogs at large and for the court costs and for the payment schedule. The amount of the fine for the vicious dogs could be up to $1,000. What I did was I took it and I put it at a very small amount with the stipulation that they will not own an animal within the city limits for 4 years, 1 year for each count of vicious dog that they had been charged with. If they violate that, then it becomes, because it is a plea agreement, they are pleading guilty. If they violate that and they own it, then $4,000, the maximum fine for each of that, for each count of vicious dog, will become due and payable to the city. So that is the agreement, because I think that we keep going through and we keep having fines and it doesn't seem to be an issue, but since we're, I guess, kind of starting for square one, if we can prevent it from happening again, I think that that's more beneficial to the residents of the community than slapping a giant fine on the individual. And so that's the way I proceeded. I have nothing further now.
Circle kind of back around to property cleanup. Did you ever get in contact with the ones up on Third Street?
I haven't. I don't know, I don't know
Just give me a call. I'll be
who they, so there was someone else that we were supposed to contact, and we're looking to try and see where their contact information is, because we can't seem to find it. There was somebody who, when they had contacted us, they'd said, we wanna keep it, we wanna clean it up, please communicate with this person, and we can't seem to get in contact with that person. So we will just send it to the address on file, because we can't seem to get in contact with the person who, I guess, was helping the family. They're not related, they don't have a claim in the matter, but we were told to go through them. So I will we're just going to have to send it to the address on record of the decedent, and wherever it's getting forwarded to is where it's gonna go. And they'll probably send us a letter that says, hey, we told you to contact this person, and
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
Answer the phone. So,
Okay.
we will get that sent out. And then I guess I wanted to, since we're circling back to that, the property that had been previously in condemnation status, but then was signed off on over on the northwest side of town, has gutters, and I don't know if it's something with the fascia, but it's, I don't think it's uninhabitable, but I think it's in a state that it may need to be examined for property cleanup. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know that it ever got back into full compliance. I guess the previous mayor signed off on it. I'm not sure.
Have to look at it.
Yeah,
I guess if
I'll
we,
get with Dan, we'll take a look at
okay.
it. Yep. Is there a motion to accept and file the spending report? Moved by Larry, second by Justin, all in favor? Treasurer report. Treasurer clerk report.
I just have, the renewal for our annual peopleware agreement with CIC, and it's in the amount of $5,665.
I'm sorry, what was that for?
Our CIC, basically our software maintenance. Do you guys usually do a motion for that, or you just say it's okay because it's?
No, we need to do a
It's
motion.
renewal.
Because of the amount of it.
Moved by Kale. Second by Dara, all in favor? Okay.
The CD that we talked about last time, I had to call Amanda because we couldn't just roll it over into new CD, so we just cashed it out and put it in one of the accounts at First National Bank. So something you guys might wanna talk about in the future is, we close out the ICS account and put that in our main account at the bank, so might be thinking about maybe how we wanna, if we wanna do some more CDs, just something to think about, maybe we can talk about at the next meeting. And then we probably need to advertise for a city clerk, it's probably time. We make copies for everybody. I know that page includes the ad for the assistant city clerk. I wasn't gonna try and cut and paste that out, but the ad that you guys see on the top is what we ran last time, so you guys just need to decide if that's what you wanna run again.
Sorry to me. What's your cutoff for getting something in the paper?
This week, it was like last Friday. We're kinda on learning curves.
Okay,
Not sure how to lay out a paper.
but we could get it in the next paper.
Yeah, we'll get it in the next one.
Are you gonna post it on Facebook and stuff too?
Can.
I'm good with it.
Do we want a deadline in there, or do we wanna just run it? don't get applicants and we gotta run it again to another deadline, do we wanna just leave the date out?
Yeah, leave the date out and see what we get.
Yeah, I think just, please submit your application or resume, to City Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, I just take that out and not put a deadline.
Okay. And then I think we probably, especially where you guys are talking about, maybe want to increase tickets once you guys get this new fine schedule updated. We need to appoint a municipal court clerk, 'cause, we don't have one right now. I'm not saying you have to do it tonight, but we probably need to be figuring that out.
Do you guys know how? Okay.
And that's not
Does
something.
Lila know
Um,
to train somebody or not?
I'd have to ask her. I
Okay.
mean, you know, that's part of the job that is so few and far between.
Mhm.
I mean, probably one of us can figure it out. I just am not sure how to proceed with that. I could be wrong, so I'm gonna tell you guys that I think this is the case in one of the surrounding cities, but I think one of the municipal judges is also the clerk. They're their own clerk.
Judge, jury, clerk,
Yeah.
executioner.
No, I think
I know a
just,
certain town in Colorado that's that way.
I think just the judge and the clerk. But I'm gonna have to check on that, and maybe that's an option too, I don't know. But I mean, then obviously we need to see. Good one.
Cause what do you want to learn it or do it or get somebody else? I mean, that's like,
Well, I
Maybe see
mean,
how it goes,
feedback.
maybe we still won't get anything.
and here's the
Let's hope
thing,
so.
maybe we wait and see what we get for
okay.
clerk applicants. I'm getting a little nervous, like if you guys start this like June 1 even, or March 15th, there might be a lot more stuff, and so we just need to be prepared.
Doubt it, but,
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, so, maybe it's something we can think about, maybe discuss that at the next meeting, and Wyatt and I can talk about, it's really just learning the software, but then I'm not sure, I guess I'll reach out to CIC and see where they're at on quoting us the module for the court software in CIC. Because I still think you guys wanna do that, right? Because I think whatever we have now
Yeah.
you guys weren't really gonna be happy with the cloud stuff, right? The cloud-based stuff, so we probably still need to get that quote.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that, those are just some things to think about. But we'll get the ad for the city clerk in the paper next week.
Okay.
I think that's all I had.
So motion to accept and file the treasurer / clerk report.
Second.
Second by Larry, all in favor? I guess I lumped those, I assume that was okay.
Yeah.
Council comments, Bud, Gail, Larry, no, Vera, Justin. I had something else. Guess we'll do, Dan's executive session. Thanks, Sherry, have a good evening.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yep. You said, wow.
I've never been happier to hear that.
She was looking at me like she wanted an answer.
Me? No, not me. Me? Here, go.
Jen, did you guys get the two lights for the window?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're out.
You should walk around front and look at them.
I will. It won't be dark.
Well, you could walk up, you could just see them from when you leave.
No motion. Who all do you want, Dan?
Jan?
Just council, so I can go too?
Mayor stays. Mayor stays for everything.
Any of these guys?
Huh?
Jen and Wyatt?
Not necessarily.
Crickets?
Yeah. See you.
Thanks, Lauren. See you, Lauren. So I'll move we go into executive session for 10 minutes coming out at 8:30, for non-elected personnel. Anything else? Job performance. With, just the council and the mayor and Dan.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kale, all in favor? All right. We're out of executive session, no decisions were made. I'm gonna ask for just 5 more minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel for job performance with just the council and mayor. To resume at 8:40.
So,
Moved by Gale,
Second.
second by Larry. All in favor? We're out of executive session, no decisions were made. Larry, do you have something?
I won't be here at the next meeting. I have a workshop seminar that I have to attend in Denver on that day. I've thought whether or not I should actually be going. I don't think there's any way I can get back even reasonably early enough to get to the meeting. So, we'll see what happens.
We can wait for you.
Well, it might be 9, 10 o'clock at night.
No.
we'll leave all the papers for